Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Lazy Entrepreneur. We're your hosts, Sam and Emma Priestley.
Hello.
And today we're on to the third part of our mini-series on how to survive and thrive during this coronavirus and the kind of attached financial mess that we're going through.
Yeah.
Mess is the right word. It is a bit of a mess. Turmoil.
Scary
variance.
times.
Scary times indeed. We had 3 episodes. The first one was on reducing risk, kind of hunkering down, making sure what you're currently doing is safe, given the uncertainty that's going on. As part of that, I said that I was trying to put together a year's worth of cash.
Yeah.
That's a year's worth of expenses in cash. Then we had part 2, which was saying now is a good time, an important time just to try and make as much money as possible. So I was saying kind of switching my focus a little bit from long-term thinking to just what could I make here and now. And the reasoning behind that was both that we don't know what's going to come, things to get a lot worse, so it's good to have money available and money coming in for that. And secondly, that there are probably going to be a bunch of really good deals and really good investments. Good things to spend your money on if you have it.
And I've been doing some of that since our last episode, haven't I? I've been trying to make some more money for the podcast.
Yes, well, that is part 2, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
The first part of 2, yeah.
Yeah, we've both been doing it. So a couple of days ago we watched 2 films. We watched a zombie film, post-apocalyptic zombie film, and we watched a margin call, which is a film about the financial crash.
That was Sam's birthday treat.
That was my birthday treat.
Love those 2 films.
That is kind of what we're going through. And in Margin Call, which is this film about Goldman Sachs during the financial crisis, it ends with one of the main characters asking the CEO, are you going to fire this person, this sort of young upstart? He said, no, of course not. There's a lot of money to be made, all hands on deck.
Yep, and that's us.
And that's us. So we've gone through Margin Call now, right? We've reduced our risk, we've cut down our liabilities on our books, and now it's all hands on deck. What investments are there?
Oh.
What can we earn?
Haters gonna hate after that comment.
I know. But honestly, most of these investments, they are important, I think, and while they'll be making us money, actually getting money back into the economy is a good thing.
Definitely.
Like, I did a post about how to support your local businesses who are struggling, and the main thing is if you can afford it, then keep spending, because that's how they're going to get through it.
Yeah.
If everyone just stops spending, that's when the economy grinds to a halt and all these businesses go bust.
Yeah.
And so while it might seem a bit callous to say, what can we do to make money now? Actually, by us spending, it's good for everyone, right? If we can make a bit of money, but also support other businesses at the same time.
Yeah, we want to do both.
We want to do both. So that's what this episode is going to be on. Investing in whatever opportunities are out there. Because there are going to be some good deals out there. This episode is going to be on what I've been thinking about and what I'm going to be spending my own money on. I'm not a financial advisor, so only follow my lead at your own risk, because I've been wrong many times before. But it's what I'm going to be spending. What I'm going to be spending our money on. So hopefully you'll prove
a good phrase
of what I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, because obviously I have no idea.
You have no idea what I'm going to say.
Well, I could guess, but
you might be able to guess.
But the point is, I shouldn't be able to guess. It should be out of the box.
Hopefully there are some surprises.
Yes, that's what you strive for.
So let's talk about why should we be spending money now. So I said save a year's worth of cash. I think that's a good thing because we don't know what's going to happen. But at the same time, I don't think we want to have much more than that lying around in cash, because currencies are being devalued. We've already seen the pound drop against the dollar, as there's been a bit of flight to the sort of more secure currencies. And in fact, after the 2008 financial crisis, we saw the pound drop from worth about $2 to each pound pretty much instantly to about $1.5, and it's never gone back up again. And then we've already seen the same thing happening here with the pound dropping to the US dollar.
So should we be trying to earn money in dollars then?
Well, this is the thing. That is one thing to do. You can hedge by holding dollars and other currencies.
Yeah.
But then also, I think the way the governments are reacting to the current crisis is by pumping as much money as they can into the economy just to try and stop there being a big recession and keep things ticking over. All the economists I've listened to have said that what they learned from the last financial crash was that they didn't do enough. They didn't bail out enough businesses. They didn't spend enough money.
That's interesting.
So now they're doubling down. They're spending as much as they can. And basically, we will spend whatever it takes, even if we can't afford it.
Yeah.
And with all these governments who basically print their own money, the easiest way for them to get out of their own debt is to just print more money, which then leads to inflation, which then devalues the money, which means that the pounds you spend now will buy you more than the pounds you spend in a few years' time, which is inflation, right? So will there be extra inflation? I reckon there will be, but I might be wrong. Will the pound get devalued even more against dollar? I reckon there's a good chance that'll happen, but I might be wrong. But with all these investments, it doesn't really matter. They're all stuff that I think it's worth spending money on now. Even if the pound improves or stays the same, they're still good investments. But if there is huge inflation, they're even better investments.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm thinking. Let's talk about what some of those investments are. I'll go through kind of the areas I'm looking at and then tell you what I've been thinking about doing and what I have done in each of those situations. So let's start with the stock market as kind of the most obvious one. The stock market is this huge list of all the big companies in the world that are publicly owned, which means that people like us can buy and sell shares in them. And it is probably what most of your pension is invested in.
Yep.
So a lot of people think they don't have any exposure to the stock market, but they do because it is where their pension is going.
Well, most people don't know anything about how their pension works.
No. And the stock market has taken a bit of a battering in the last month, and now is like gyrating about. I'm not sure what it's doing. It's going up and down, wiggling around back and forth. Emma's giving me a silly look. And we don't know what it's going to do, but I don't think that matters to investors like me, who all I kind of care about is the long-term prospects.
Yeah.
So I'm planning that everything I buy now and everything I have bought in the last 5 years, I'm planning on holding for another 20 years.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, it's all about what is the long-term prospects and do I think the stock market is going to recover? And I do. So that means that if I'm buying stocks now, I'm buying them cheaper than I would have done a month ago. And so there are deals out there. And so I'm a big fan of passive investing, which just involves buying market tracking indexes, which means you're not exposed to any single company as long as the economy is doing good as a whole, which I think it will do over the next 20 years.
Yeah, it's not now, but you think it will do.
Then I think those are good bets. So what I've done so far is I've set up some automatic investments to invest into an index tracker, like a global index tracker, over the next few weeks.
Yep.
A little bit of time because I don't know whether the stock market's going to go up or down from here, and that's called dollar cost averaging. Normally you do dollar cost averaging over like once a month, but as the stock market is going mental, I'm doing it over a shorter period, so investing a little bit every couple of days, and that means hopefully we should even out our investments into this recession effectively.
So what would happen in the market to make you stop that strategy?
So that's not going to happen forever.
No, exactly. It's a short-term thing.
The cash I've got at the moment to spend. So what would happen in the market? I mean, if the market is straight back to where it was before, I'll stop that strategy. Yeah.
And you're reviewing it, every day, every few days?
Yeah, this is the thing. So everything we're saying now, we're recording on the 26th of March.
Yeah,
and things are changing really quickly.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm thinking at the moment. And I'm thinking about this every day at the moment. I'm not selling things. So I'm not in and out of the market.
No.
I am long on the market and continuing to go long on the market. But how I invest that is changing.
Yeah, you've got a short-term strategy at the moment.
I have a short-term strategy for how I'm going long-term into the market.
Yes.
Yeah, if volatility really drops down, if it's like, the uncertainty's over, we're now back to normal times, even if the market is a lot cheaper, then I'd still probably change my strategy up. It's all about what's happening now, and at the moment, it's all going mental.
Yeah, and is there a point where it just keeps going down and down and down, is there a point where do you have an idea in your head where the market could go at to where you pull out or change the strategy?
I don't think there is a point where I pull out.
I don't really know much about the stock market, so I'm trying to...
The cheaper it goes, the cheaper it is to buy.
Yeah.
If there is a proper apocalypse, the stock market might cease existing altogether.
Yes.
But that's not going to happen here. We're a long way off.
Yeah.
I mean, the virus would have to have a pretty serious mutation to have that impact, I think.
Yeah.
So
scary times.
Yeah, I mean,
but we are a long way off.
If it mutates and starts turning people into zombies, then then maybe I would consider stopping investing in the stock market.
That is the most you answer to that question.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
What the type of virus there currently is, I don't see why you would think that the stock market is gone forever.
Yeah.
I think it'd be pretty ridiculous to say the heights that we reached last year will never reach again.
Yeah, you just don't know.
I think that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
And if it is, that's okay, because of part 2, where we're saying about earning more money, that's where we're protecting against that.
Yeah.
And maybe some of these other investments. I'm not a stock picker, but I do think there are some stocks that are probably good value for long-term buying right now. I'm not currently buying these, but I might do at some point. So stuff like Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon is a little bit lower than it was last month in stock price, but I see that as a business that's going to be stronger than ever coming out of this.
Yeah, and just getting bigger and bigger.
Getting bigger and bigger. They're going to make loads of money during this crisis,
yes.
and then they're going to have changed people's habits to where they're buying. I think like people weren't buying groceries on Amazon before.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're going to start, and then they might keep doing that after the crisis. So I think Amazon is a good investment. I think Microsoft is a good investment. Again, they're lower than they were. But I think they're very well placed to be the one taking the lead on the working from home software.
Yeah.
I can see that. And then all the big online stocks like Facebook and Alphabet, who own Google, they're all down. Again, I can see why, because advertising revenue is probably going to drop, but I think their usership is only going to increase.
Yes, massively.
And then that'll be really important for the long term. So there's a bunch of things like that I'm thinking about dipping my toes into, but haven't yet decided. Also, an outside one, Berkshire Hathaway, which is the business run by Warren Buffett, that's down quite a lot. I think if anyone is going to be able to capitalise on that, it's going to be him.
Oh, yes.
So I think that would be a good investment. The only caveat is he's like 90 years old, so he might not be around much longer. But I think he's been preparing for something for a while, and something like half the value of Berkshire Hathaway is held in cash.
Wow.
And so now is somewhere a good time for him to spend that.
Yeah, what's he going to do?
So I think his business could be a really good investment.
How exciting.
So we'll see. Again, I'm thinking about this all the time and might change. So there's the stock market. Don't want to talk too much about the stock market because that's a dangerous route to go down. I think it's very easy to end up gambling on it. So what else is there? Well, a big one, I think, is high street businesses. So right now, bars, restaurants, coffee shops, clothes shops, even really good businesses that were doing amazingly just before this, and now in serious trouble. And so how are they gonna survive? Well, there is debt. Government's giving lots of grants and stuff to these sort of businesses. Is that going to be enough? I reckon there's going to be quite a few who will be looking for investors. So I'm looking on websites like Crowdcube, which is sort of peer-to-peer fundraising for these sort of businesses. I'm also thinking about maybe taking a more personal role and thinking about if there's any businesses I know of who I think are good businesses, might be in trouble, and who'd be willing to take on a silent partner in exchange for a bit of investment.
I think a lot of those businesses in Tunbridge Wells.
Yeah, I think there'll be a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. How I would assess that is going to take quite a bit of thinking about.
Yes.
And I think if you actually want to start your own coffee shop or a bar or a pub, there's going to be a bunch that are selling because they have to. And that would be a good time to get a deal.
Yeah, and we have always talked about owning our own pub.
Yeah, but not anytime soon. Not after all the stress of owning a coffee shop.
I know.
Which we have podcast episodes on, if you want to check that out. Something else I'm thinking about is stranded inventory. So Amazon Fulfillment is Amazon's warehouse network called Amazon FBA. As we said, Amazon is doing really well at the moment, but they're doing so well that they are at full capacity, full workload for all the workers, all the warehouses. They're trying to hire loads of people. But what that means is for the moment, they have said they're not accepting any more inventory into their warehouses from non-high priority items.
Yeah, which is completely fair enough.
Completely fair enough. Which means that if you're selling toys, sports equipment, anything like that, like you're not going to be able to send any inventory in. And there are a lot of businesses, a lot of brands whose whole business model is sending stuff straight from the factory once it's made to Amazon, and they don't really have a backup option for if Amazon just suddenly shut their doors.
Yeah, which is hugely risky.
Yeah, but why would they suddenly shut their doors? Well, maybe there's a global pandemic.
Yeah. Yes.
So I think if you happen to have a warehouse where you're willing to hold stock until this is over, you could probably get some good deals by buying in bulk.
Yes.
And guess who happens to have a warehouse that we're already paying for?
Well, we have two. Different purposes.
We have, different, that's a good point. So we have a fulfillment service where we can continue selling through currently.
And it's also a warehouse.
Which is a warehouse. But it's one where you pay per square cubic metre that you're using. We also have another one where we're paying for
storage,
the building.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much we cram in there.
Yeah.
And currently it's not very full.
Yeah.
So we could cram extra stuff in there at no extra cost to us.
Yes.
And hold it there for a while.
Yeah, we have lots of backup options.
So there are a few things like that where there could be potential to buy stock that other people can't sell and then try and sell it on once Amazon's back up and running.
Yes.
Which honestly I think is going to happen before this crisis is over.
Yes.
And people are going to still be buying stuff online. Well, so that's Amazon, but what about bars and alcohol distributors and restaurant distributors, stuff like that? I reckon there's loads of these companies who hold a lot of stock on credit.
Yeah.
That they now need to start paying off for.
Yes.
And they've got no one to sell them to.
Yes. So
could we buy a bunch of that in bulk? We could just hold it till afterwards, or we could try and sell it through, that other fulfillment option that you said. So sell it online through Amazon and places like that.
Yeah.
So what we could do is we could sell on Amazon, but fulfilled by merchant, which means that we basically find another warehouse who will do all the shipping and stuff for us.
Yes.
So I think there's some potential there. Yeah. So one of the problems with financial crisis like this is people who hold a lot of debt suffer.
Yes.
If they're running on credit, which a lot of businesses are.
Yeah, they need ways to sell their stock.
So if you think about all the alcohol distributors that we work with,
they all have huge amounts of stock.
The way it works is they take loads of stock, they have a 30 to 60 day payment plan with all their suppliers, and then they plan to sell their stock before
they need to pay.
Yeah. Well, now no one's buying, and suddenly all these credit notes are coming due.
Building up.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of them who may be willing to sell it for less than they paid for it in order just to get it off their books and free up a bit of cash.
Yes.
So could there be a situation where we could effectively be buying from a big distributor
that doesn't have an online
1,000 bottles of Smirnoff or something for less than we know that we can sell it for?
Yeah.
Just because we're cash rich and they're not. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about. What it might be is sending a few tentative emails to a few of these companies to see what they're doing. Maybe talking to a few other business people I know who are big in Amazon.
Anyway. That sounds good.
There's a lot of Amazon Facebook groups for small sellers who are really into this arbitrage. Because what people will do is they'll go around all the supermarkets and they'll buy stuff that they know, board games and stuff they know they can sell for. But now what if they're holding all this stuff and they can't get into Amazon?
Yeah.
So are there people like that who we can take effectively job lots of their stuff off them? I think there are. Something to think about. Alright, onwards. Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin an investment? Or is it a gamble?
What's happened to Bitcoin in the last few weeks? I have no idea.
It's just wiggling around.
Same as the stock market. Less volatile.
It's actually been less volatile. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Weirdly, it's just not going. It's not going up or down.
Yeah, nothing to report.
Nothing to report. So, I think Bitcoin isn't an investment. I think it is a speculation, a gamble. And so on my asset spreadsheet, I'm going to keep track of all my investments. I don't include anything I own, any Bitcoin I own, because I don't think it's an investment.
Why?
Because
I think it's more like a gamble.
I think it's a gamble. It's
so you don't put any money in there that you can't afford to lose.
Exactly. So when you buy the stock market, you're buying a bit of a company.
Yes.
Now the company's doing something.
Yeah.
Amazon is delivering stuff, it's making profits, and then it's distributing those profits to the people who own the stock.
Yes.
Who own Amazon. So
it's a traditional business that you can visualise. Lots of it's physical.
It's not even that. Even Twitter, Instagram, anything. They're businesses. Bitcoin isn't a business.
Yeah.
It's a bit like buying gold.
Yeah.
I don't really like gold. A lot of people think it's an investment. I don't think gold's an investment because it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. If you buy a house, you can rent it out. It's an income generating asset.
Yeah,
that's not what gold is. That's not what Bitcoin is.
Well, underlying Bitcoin and gold, there's a piece around like why you'd invest in them. There's a piece around this kind of doomsday, end of the world, currencies crash. So there's this piece around it kind of being quite apocalyptic and horrible, really.
And that's exactly why I'm buying a bit of Bitcoin. Because you're dead right. That's why people buy it.
Yes.
Because they say if everyone loses faith in the dollar and the pound and the euro
and our banks and
then,
the government,
then where will money be?
Yeah.
And so as it seems that the government's willing to spend money they don't have to save the world, which they should be doing, I think. There is a chance that it means that there'll be huge inflation later, we'll pay for it later, and that we might lose faith in... This might be the catalyst that makes people lose faith in
the banking
what are called
system.
fiat currencies, and therefore move to something like Bitcoin or a cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So...
Or gold.
Well, they're never going to move to gold because you can't spend gold.
Yeah, that's true.
But they might hold gold as an asset that the government can't just print.
Yes.
Which is one of the advantages of Bitcoin, is we know exactly what the inflation on Bitcoin is going to be because it's set by a mathematical equation. And it's effectively a deflationary currency in the long run, which has its own problems, which we don't need to go into. We're not here to discuss the pros and cons of Bitcoin as a currency, but I do think there is a chance that we could see wide adoption of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency into daily life, and a lot of people investing in it, which could see the price go up a lot. So what am I doing? Well, back in August I said I was buying some more Bitcoin. Well, as of yesterday I've bought some more again.
How exciting. How apocalyptic of you.
Thank you. Let's move away from the apocalypse and onto property. I think there's some deals in property at the moment. I think off-plan property, there could be some deals in it. So house builders will often sell apartments before they finish building the apartment block, so that they can get some money in or some promises in that then they can then raise debt on or use that cash to finish the building work.
Yeah.
Well, kind of overnight and unprecedentedly, where suddenly the whole market's kind of frozen because people can't actually go and view properties anymore. So people aren't buying, and we don't know what's going to happen with the property market. It could have a big collapse. I think I read that the stock market is currently pricing in about a 15% drop in property prices.
Whoa. That's
but
exciting.
I think you can get a bigger deal than that on off-plan stuff, because you're effectively doing them a deal. You can take 1 or 2 or 3, maybe we'll get more off their hands in order to ensure that they can then finish the building.
You are crazy.
So what I've been doing is I've emailed around a few house builders to see if any of them want to offload any of their stock.
Had any luck with that?
No, not yet. But we'll see. We'll find out. A lot of these probably won't go anywhere, especially some of the more tentative ones I'm coming up to now.
Yeah.
But I think it is about being open to opportunities.
Yeah, I'm thinking differently.
The other thing is I don't have the money to do all of this stuff.
No.
I can't be investing in high street and buying a bunch of off-plan property and all the other stuff. So it's a bunch of areas where I think there's opportunities. I want to basically work out the deals I can get in each place and then take the best ones.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it now is that tentative reaching out. I think there's a bunch of people currently who've got their properties listed who are trying to sell.
Because they need the money.
They need money. So
in
a time when no one can go viewing, you could probably get some good deals by buying stuff without looking at them.
Yeah.
So how much does that who owns the empty property that they can't currently rent out because the market's frozen want to sell?
Yeah, maybe they're just going to delay it another year.
Maybe they're happy having it empty.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's some people who really just want out at the moment.
Yeah, especially because what's their options? Renting it out short term. Who's going to want to rent it?
No one's going to want to rent it. No one's going to want to rent long term at the moment because they're just going to stay in their house till this is all over.
Yeah.
So, for instance, we're currently in an Airbnb. We're paying £85 a night, and it's normally about £700 a night during normal times, £600-700 a night.
Because of where it is in London, it's so central.
Yeah, and it's really big. There are a lot of properties a bit like that which suddenly have lost all their earning overnight.
Yes.
Are those people going to want to sell?
Yeah.
Especially when you don't know how long this is going to go. How long will there be worldwide travel bans? We're going to probably get back to work in not that long, but we probably will be really restrictive on tourism for much longer.
Yeah. Well, it's stuff like with this flat, I wonder how much they have to pay in bills.
Well, I think the mortgage is going to be the big one, because a lot of these businesses run on debt, where they effectively keep getting mortgages on. As soon as they got any cash, they'll use that to then get another mortgage on a new place and scale up quickly. And now suddenly their income is much lower than their mortgage payments.
Yes.
And there is a bit of a mortgage payment holiday going on at the moment.
Yes.
And that must be pretty scary, because it's a holiday, it's not a have some free money.
No, it's a delay in paying.
It's a delay in paying. So that is property. Kind of also on property, I think if you want any renovation work done soon on your place, now's a good time to start shopping around for that.
Yeah.
Let's say you want to do a loft conversion, you want to add a little annex to your house, you want to build granny flat.
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? I don't know.
Yes.
Basically, there's loads of self-employed contractors and small business people who suddenly have no business.
Yeah, overnight.
Now, if you can agree a contract that they'll basically do the renovation once this is all over, say in 6 months' time, you could probably get a good deal and also do them a big favour, because either by paying deposits up front or then being able to then take out debt based on that future work, that could really help those small businesses stay in business.
Definitely.
And also you're going to get a good deal on it. So
and
it's a win-win.
There are so many advances in technology to be able to view the dimensions of the room or the space on CAD, and there are so many things you can do. You don't have to rely on physically being there. Yeah,
they can give you a proper quote without having to view the place in person.
Yeah.
We don't own anything we're trying to renovate, so it doesn't really apply to us.
No.
But it was an idea I had. But then at the same time, we're talking about self-employed people. Other outsourced work is probably a good time to be buying as well. Even stuff people do online, like design work.
Yeah.
I think now's a very good time to
Marketing.
be hiring agencies for design work. Like, a lot of their customers have just stopped spending. If you own a chain of coffee shops, you're not going to redesign your logo now.
No.
You've got bigger things to worry about. So I think now's a good time to be contacting them and getting some good deals. Same with, as you said, with marketing. I think marketing's
online
a good
engagement
one.
Of your existing customer base.
I think marketing is one of the things that people stop spending on first.
Yes.
When times like this happen. They turtle up. They go back to their core. So if you're looking to hire marketing, now is a good time. And actually that's something I'm thinking of doing. I'm thinking of contacting some PR agencies and marketing agencies. we've long had this idea of looking at PR agencies in different industries to help with my sort of personal brand, like the samprecy.com blog, the Lazy Entrepreneur podcast.
Yeah.
So look at, PRs for musicians or for video game developers, all this kind of stuff in different industries, and try and talk to them. Well, now is a really good time to actually get off my lazy arse and message some of them. And then also, just people in general. You can't buy people, I know, but you can hire them. There's a lot of very good people who now have no job security and are realising it, or have already been laid off.
Yeah.
So suddenly the pool of talent that you can hire has grown a lot.
Yeah.
So you can get some really good people. You can build your team. I think also if you're looking for interns, now's a good time. People graduating university, worried they won't be able to get a job, or you can give them a job for a short term where they're not paid very much, but they're getting work experience. Back in 2011, I did that and basically had a constant stream of interns. And I used to amaze me that I think I was like 22 or something at the time, and just created a company, just gone on company's house and spent my 45 quid to create a company. And now all these people are willing to come work for me, Oxbridge graduates and stuff, for hardly any money, because we live in this strange world where actually that looks quite good on their CV.
Yes.
And it is work experience.
And you found some incredible people doing that.
That's
very
people.
Smart people.
Yeah. As I said, like people who graduated from much harder to get in universities than the one I went to.
Yes.
I think now is another time where that's probably true. You can probably get some good interns, good work experience people from very good universities, because big companies aren't hiring. And the other thing I did around that time was rented an office. I think now is a good time to be looking at commercial leases. So whether that is high street shops, let's say you're thinking about opening a pub or something, I reckon you get a really good deal on a premises now by signing up to a 5-year lease, say, or a 10-year lease, something like that, because nobody's renting at the moment.
It sounds terrifying, doesn't it?
Or office space. So I got a really good deal on an office in a skyscraper in central London for much cheaper than an office in above a kebab shop in East London would have cost, because at the time the city was full of empty office space.
Yeah.
Let's say you wanted to sign up to WeWork.
Yeah.
Cool, what a business to be in at the moment. But I bet you get a really good deal from a serviced office from WeWork right now.
They've had a tough time, haven't they?
They've had a really tough time. If you're starting a business and you're growing, now's a good time to start renegotiating all those leases.
Yeah.
And we spoke a little bit about this warehouse we're renting. Well, we're renting, it's a serviced warehouse, and we're renting it on a monthly rolling basis. Well, now's a good time to perhaps offer a longer term rental with them for a big discount. Yeah. And that's probably something we're going to look at. Cool, yeah. So, we've spoken for much longer than I thought we would.
Let's
quickly go over the ideas. Stock market, I think that's all good investment at the moment. I think it will be. High street businesses, I think you can get equity stakes in some really good businesses quite cheaply at the moment. Stranded inventory, there's lots of debt-based businesses that are holding more inventory than they can't do anything with it. I think Bitcoin, a bit of a gamble, but I think it's a gamble that is worth taking. Property, we've spoken about all sorts, off-plan property, just normal property that is sitting on the market and no one's buying. Renovation work, hiring freelancers, outsourcers, contractors, hiring people, commercial leases, loads. Anything else?
It's a lot.
Alright, well, thanks for listening, and if you've got any ideas, or you think any of these are crazy,
well, some of them are.
Please, please get going. There's a companion blog post to this that's coming out as well, so please hit the comments on that, and we'll chat about it. I said in one of the previous episodes that one of the problems of everyone being stuck at home is that it's hard to be inspired and to innovate and have new ideas, because often you need to bounce them off people. Yeah. So if you want to do that, let's chat in the comments. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Adios.